Alien sisters didn't know how to shower. So I taught them personally. The bathroom confusion. Marcus Webb had worked with 17 different alien species during his 5 years as an integration specialist, but nothing prepared him for the Zephyrian sisters standing in his assigned quarters looking at the bathroom like it might explode. Sarah, the eldest, ran her fingertips along the tile wall with careful precision, her expression thoughtful. "This chamber has unusual energy patterns," she murmured, her melodic accent making even confusion sound elegant. "Is this where you communicate with your planetary consciousness?" Marcus blinked, temporarily distracted by how the afternoon light caught the iridescent sheen of her skin. No, it's a bathroom. For washing." "Washing what?" Vina piped up from where she'd somehow managed to climb onto the sink counter, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Your ritual objects. Your small food items." "Ourselves," Marcus said, feeling his face warm. "Our bodies. Daily." All three sisters stared at him with identical expressions of fascination mixed with bewilderment. Lyra, who'd been quietly observing from the doorway, tilted her head. "Your species secretes waste through your outer layer? How inefficient." "Well, yes, we sweat, but also," Marcus gestured helplessly at the shower. "We just use water and soap to stay clean. For health and, social reasons." Sarah moved closer to the shower stall, investigating the fixtures with scientific curiosity. "Demonstrate this process, please." "On Zephyria, we use harmonic frequencies to vibrate particles from our skin. Water seems primitive but potentially interesting." "Right, so, you turn this knob to start the water, adjust the temperature here." Marcus reached past Sarah to point, suddenly very aware of her proximity, the subtle scent of something floral and foreign that clung to her. "Your cardiovascular rhythm has increased," Sarah observed calmly, though something flickered in her eyes. "Are you experiencing distress?" Vina laughed from her perch. "His face pigmentation has changed again. I documented 14 color variations yesterday during our introduction session. First attempts." "Okay, so I'll stay out here and talk you through it," Marcus said, positioning himself outside the bathroom door while trying to maintain his professional composure. "Sarah, you're going first." "Affirmative." Vina would flood the facility, and Lyra prefers to observe before attempting new experiences. Sarah's voice carried through the door, followed by the sound of running water. "The temperature control is sensitive. How do humans tolerate such extremes?" Marcus smiled despite his nervousness. "Start with lukewarm, then adjust. And remember, shampoo first for your hair, then soap for." "Marcus," Sarah's startled voice made him tense. "This foam substance has a peculiar texture. It's multiplying." "That's normal. Just work it through your hair gently, then rinse." Several minutes of splashing and muttered Zephyrian phrases followed. When Sarah finally emerged, wrapped in a towel that she held uncertainly, Marcus forgot whatever instruction he'd been about to give. Water droplets traced paths down her neck, her hair darker when wet and falling in waves around her face. She looked vulnerable and beautiful and utterly confused. "The fabric absorbs moisture," she said, studying the towel. "But how does one properly utilize it? Demonstrate, please." Marcus's mouth went dry. "You just, pat yourself dry. Like this." He mimed the motion awkwardly with his own towel, maintaining careful distance. Sarah mimicked his movements, then stepped closer. "Here." She touched her shoulder. "And here." Her collarbone. Each question brought her nearer until Marcus could see the silver flecks in her eyes that seemed to glow slightly in the bathroom's soft light. "Yes, exactly," he managed, his voice rougher than intended. "Fascinating," she murmured, holding his gaze. "Your teaching method is very thorough." "Sarah, you're hogging the human," Vina called out, breaking the moment. "My turn." Vina's shower attempt involved experimental water pressure adjustments that nearly soaked Marcus through the door, singing in her native language that made the walls resonate, and a spectacular soap beard that had even Lyra giggling. When she emerged, she immediately shook her head like an earth dog, spraying everyone. "Vina," Sarah scolded, but she was smiling. "What?" Marcus said the process should be refreshing. I feel very refreshed. Vina grinned at him. Also, I noticed how you look at Sarah when she... Lyra's turn, Marcus interrupted quickly. The Zephyrian way. We wish to reciprocate your teaching, Sarah announced the next evening, leading Marcus into their shared living quarters. Soft bioluminescent orbs floated near the ceiling, casting gentle light across cushions arranged in a circle. You have shown us human cleansing. Now experience ours. Marcus hesitated at the threshold. I don't want to intrude on your private rituals. Knowledge shared is trust given, Lyra said softly, her first full sentence directed at him. You have been patient with us. Allow us to return the kindness. The three sisters formed a triangle, gesturing for Marcus to stand in the center. Sarah moved behind him, close enough that he could feel warmth radiating from her. Our cleansing requires no water, she explained, her breath soft against his ear. Close your eyes. Marcus obeyed, hyper-aware of Sarah's presence. A low humming began, three voices creating harmonies that seemed to vibrate through his chest. Sarah's fingers touched his temples with feather-like pressure. Breathe with me, she whispered. Slow. Steady. Feel the resonance. The humming intensified, and Marcus felt something extraordinary, a tingling sensation moving across his skin like gentle waves, not unpleasant but startlingly intimate. Sarah's fingers traced down to his shoulders, guiding tension away, while the harmonic frequencies seemed to wash through him. This is how we cleanse, Sarah murmured, her voice blending with the melody. Body, mind, and spirit together. In my culture, sharing this with someone outside family signifies deep trust. Marcus's eyes opened slightly, meeting Sarah's gaze over his shoulder. Something unspoken passed between them, an acknowledgement that this had become more than cultural exchange. Your heartbeat synchronizes with ours, she observed, her hand still resting on his shoulder. This is rare with other species. Vina's voice cut through the moment with characteristic playfulness. Sarah is performing the extended bonding variation. She usually reserves that for. The demonstration is complete, Sarah said quickly, stepping back, but not before Marcus saw the flush of color across her cheeks. Apparently Zephyrians could blush too. Lyra smiled knowingly, her sketch pad already capturing the scene with remarkable detail, including emotions that Marcus hadn't realized showed so clearly on his face. Trust in vulnerability. The next few days established a comfortable rhythm. Morning shower lessons became routine, though Marcus noticed Sarah lingering afterward to ask questions that had less to do with hygiene and more to do with human customs, emotions, family bonds. On the fifth evening, Marcus found Lyra alone in the common area, staring at Earth's moon through the observation window. Her shoulders were trembling slightly. Lyra, what's wrong? She turned, and he was startled to see tears, their composition slightly different from human tears, catching the light like liquid crystal. I miss home, she admitted quietly. Zephyria has 3 moons, and they sing to each other during alignment. Here, everything is silent. Marcus sat beside her, offering presence rather than empty platitudes. Tell me about the singing moons. She did, her voice soft and wistful, describing harmonies that painted the night sky in colors Earth had no names for. Gradually, her tears stopped. She leaned against his shoulder with unconscious trust. You are kind, Marcus Webb, she said eventually. Sarah chose well to trust you. Chose to trust me. Lyra smiled. Our eldest sister resists connection. She feels responsible for protecting Vina and me. But with you, she allows herself vulnerability. This is significant. Later, Marcus couldn't sleep. He found himself in the facility's observation deck, watching stars and thinking about Sarah's fingers on his temples, her breath against his ear, the way she looked at him during their sonic cleansing ritual. Cannot rest either. He turned to find Sarah approaching, wrapped in a soft robe, her hair loose around her shoulders. She joined him at the window, standing close enough that their arms nearly touched. Thinking, he admitted, about cultural differences, connection despite them, whether some things transcend language and species. Sarah was quiet for a moment. Then her hand found his on the railing, her fingers interweaving with his in a gesture that needed no translation. In Zephyrian culture, we have a saying, water takes the shape of its vessel, but remains itself. You have taught us your ways while honoring ours. This is rare. Precious. Marcus turned to face her fully. Sera. I know this complicates your professional duties, she continued, her eyes searching his face. But I must speak truth. These days with you have awakened something I did not expect to feel so far from home. I feel it too, Marcus confessed, his free hand rising to cup her cheek. I'm supposed to remain objective, but you've made that impossible. Sarah leaned into his touch, her eyes closing briefly. Then we are both professionally compromised. Completely, he agreed, and when she smiled, it was like watching a sunrise. Clean hearts, new beginnings. The integration assessment came on the 10th day. The sisters demonstrated perfect understanding of human hygiene practices, answered questions about cultural adaptation with impressive insight, and received clearance for extended Earth residency while their planet's diplomatic status was negotiated. You have been an exceptional instructor, the assessment officer told Marcus. The Zephyrian sisters specifically requested that you continue as their cultural liaison during their extended stay. After the official proceedings ended, Vina cornered Marcus with a knowing grin. Sarah has been impossible all morning, worrying you might be reassigned. I have never seen my dignified sister pace before. Vina, stop meddling, Sarah called from across the room, but her eyes found Marcus's with unmistakable hope. That evening, as gentle rain began falling outside, Sarah found Marcus in the facility's garden courtyard. The rain created a natural curtain around them, and she stood watching him with that expression he'd learned to recognize, careful consideration before taking a leap. In Zephyrian custom, she began, moving closer, standing together in falling water is how we declare intentions to bond. The water witnesses and blesses the union. Marcus's heart hammered. What kind of intentions? The serious kind. Sarah reached for his hand, pulling him further into the rain. The kind that mean I wish to know you not as teacher and student, but as equals, Marcus finished. Partners. Whatever we're becoming. Sarah smiled, water droplets catching in her hair like diamonds. Your human showers taught me something unexpected. You see, on Zephyria, we use frequencies that keep us separate even while cleansing. But water, she touched his face, rain running between her fingers, water connects. Mingles. Cannot maintain boundaries. Is that a metaphor? Marcus asked, drawing her closer. Perhaps. Or perhaps I am saying that you have taught me it is acceptable to let barriers dissolve. To allow someone else close enough to see you vulnerable and trust they will be gentle. Marcus kissed her then, soft and careful, tasting rain and possibility. When they parted, Sarah's eyes glowed with that silver light he'd come to adore. So, Vina's voice carried from the doorway where she and Lyra watched with undisguised delight. Does this mean we are staying? Yes, Sarah answered without looking away from Marcus. We are staying. Lyra held up her sketchpad, showing the rain-soaked garden scene she'd been capturing. For my collection titled, How My Sister Learned That the Best Cleansing Washes Away Fear, Not Just Dust. Lessons learned. True intimacy flows like water. It cannot be forced into shapes it does not fit, but finds its own path through patience and trust. Vulnerability is not weakness but courage, the willingness to stand unguarded before another and trust they will honor what you reveal. Love transcends worlds and words when two hearts synchronize their rhythm, when different becomes complementary rather than strange.